Fast, focused, and fearless, here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Pauline Verzosa. President Bongbong Marcos broke his silence and fired back at Vice President Sara Duterte for her latest remarks against him. In a recorded statement, the president said he will not let his former running mate get away with her threats against him. Recall that VP Sara claimed that she already hired a hitman against PBBM, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez in case she gets killed.
Kung ganun na lang kadali ang pagplano sa pagpatay ng isang presidente, paano pa kaya ang mga pangkaraniwan na mamamayan? Yang ganyang kriminal na pagtatangka ay hindi dapat pinapalampas. Yan ay aking papalagan.
Marcos also emphasized that it would not get to this point if VP Sara just answered the questions of lawmakers about her office's spending of confidential funds.
Hindi na sanang hahantong sa ganitong drama kung sasagutin lamang ang mga lehitimong katanungan sa Senado at sa House of Representatives. Ang katotohanan ay hindi dapat itokhang. Imbis na diretsahang sagot, nililihis pa sa kwentong chicheria.
Vice President Sara Duterte doubled down on her attacks against the Marcos family yesterday. In an ambush interview after a House hearing on Monday, the Vice President said she has yet to read President Bongbong Marcos's full response to her earlier remarks. But that did not stop her from further criticizing her former Uniteam running mate. This time, Duterte threw the perennial accusation against the Marcos family.
Papalagan ko din yung ginagawa nila sa akin. Diba? Pumalag nga yung buong bayan nung pinatay ng pamilya nila si Benigno Aquino Jr.
Well, NBI Director Jaime Santiago says they will conduct a thorough investigation into Vice President Sara Duterte's death threat remarks. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
How are you planning to approach this? Because the Vice President already said that this was maliciously taken out of logical context. But if you take a look at it, it is the second highest official in the land, threatening the highest official in the land. Paano po ang approach nyo dito sa kasong ito?
Yes, ma'am, we're not taking it lightly. No, this is a serious matter, especially coming from the second highest officer of the land, Vice President po, at abogada po siya. She should know the consequences of what she is saying. Kaya po tinututukan namin mabuti ang investigation at kasi po mandato po ng National Bureau of Investigation under Republic Act 10867 na mag-imbestiga motu proprio on any threats involving the security and assault upon the persons of the President, the Vice President, down to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
But where exactly do you plan to start? You already issued a subpoena to the Vice President, am I correct?
I think it's out tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow, di ba? Or ilabas niyo na ba, Director?
Nakapaglabas na po kami ng subpoena, but it will be served early in the morning tomorrow. First hour in the morning, my agents will go to the office of the Vice President and serve the subpoena.
Okay. Pagkatapos po nun, kapag siya po ay pumunta po sa inyo, ano po ang kailangan niyang gawin? And in case hindi po siya mag-appear, ano naman po ang mangyayari?
Kanina nagpahayag ang ating Vice President na pagka natanggap niya ang subpoena, she will be willing to cooperate with us. Kaya wala naman kami nakikitang problema. But then, if she will not appear before our office, then kung ano man na-gather namin na information, we will have to transmit that to the Department of Justice. Bahala na ang Department of Justice mag-aral if there is prima facie evidence na against her.
We'll be back with more stories after this break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. In the Philippine Star, some farmers groups pushed for the return of at least 25,000 extension workers to the Agriculture Department from LGUs. They say the devolution of farm workers has resulted in a structural disconnect in the implementation of programs of the DA. And in business world, the Philippines' current account deficit is seen to widen further, which could put pressure on the currency, according to ANZ research. ANZ says it expects the country's current account deficit to widen to 2.9% of gross domestic product this year. House Speaker Martin Romualdez condemned Vice President Sara Duterte's threat against him and the first couple. Romualdez said that VP Sara's latest remarks can be considered as a direct threat to the country's security. He added that her recent statements are diversionary tactics amid the House investigation on her office's spending of confidential funds. Some lawmakers also had a picture with Romualdez after his speech to show support. One of them is Pampanga Representative Gloria Arroyo, a known ally of VP Sara.
Hindi na to biro. Hindi na to normal na pangalita. Isa itong direktang banta sa ating demokrasya, sa ating pamahalaan, at sa seguridad ng bayan. We cannot let this pass as mere rhetoric. The gravity of such aggression demands accountability. It demands answers.
Policy expert Michael Yusinko believes that Vice President Sara Duterte should be held accountable for cases related to the alleged misuse of confidential funds. Now, he says that should come first before impeachment talks. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
I know that you want to see accountability over impeachment. Talk us through that.
Yeah. First, let's analyze what impeachment is. So impeachment is basically a political process. It's a partisan and divisive process that will result to the removal of the public officer or official in question, and also, if convicted, will suffer permanent disqualification to hold any other public office. But there is no criminal liability or administrative liability attached to the conviction by impeachment. In other words, all of what we're talking about now about the possibility of misuse of public funds, possibility of plunder of public funds, won't have any effect at all as far as attaching liability for it in an impeachment process. Now, knowing the fact that the Vice President is not immune from any suit, then wouldn't it be more optimal to just file a plunder case now instead of filing an impeachment case first, right?
Yeah, but like you said, it is a political move, very political move. This is also what the Vice President calls the series of hearings in the House, both in the Committee of Good Government and the Quadcom, right? So maybe if the goal is to, for example, sasabihin mo, the midterms are coming, you want to end or kill the Duterte brand so that they cannot further run for office, would impeachment achieve that goal?
Well, for if she gets convicted, yes, and that's only true for her, for Vice President Sara. But the brand itself can persist through other Dutertes, of course. But as you mentioned earlier, my concern is accountability for the possible plunder that has been committed here. And therefore, I think that should be the priority rather than the political aspects of this situation, right?
Well, Vice President Sara Duterte made international headlines for her tirades against President Bongbong Marcos. CNN reported her controversial remarks with the headline, Philippine Vice President says she would have Marcos assassinated if she is killed. The headlines of Al Jazeera, Fox News, and the Times of India also carry the same tone. NBC News and The Guardian called VP Sara's statements as an active threat for admitting that she hired a hitman against the president. Meanwhile, the New York Times reported PBBM's response to VP Sara. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.